It is me again, your girl, your host, in this wonderful channel, Sinaly, right? I'm back with another video, and I just wanted you guys to know that I am okay. I am alive. I exist. Um, Thank you for your well wishes. It really did, and it does mean a lot to me and my family. So thank you for that. As you may know, some of you may know that I've been going through a grieving process, and I did so on a ship. And I explained to you the last video how taxing that is. Well, got a couple updates. As you can see, this is not a ship. I'm actually home, to be frank with you and upfront and transparent, which is what I've been doing this entire time. Um, I don't know why they let me go. It could be a lot of things. But the things that are usually how you get off a ship is not how I got off the ship. So I didn't question it when I was informed that I was able to leave and that they were making arrangements for me to go. I took it because it enabled me to obviously go back home with my family and go through this grieving process. Not like misery loves company, but you want to connect with the people that you know and love. So I was able to make my cousin's funeral, may her spirit be at peace, and able to just fellowship with my family that I hadn't had an opportunity to see in years, just because life happens and I have a job that requires a lot of my time. There's not a lot of work-life balance in MSC. Please understand that or understand that, because that's not really a thing. But the climate has changed and it's changing. I can't say whether it's for the good or the bad, but I can say that I was able to go home in an unconventional way. And to be frank, I don't know exactly how this happened. I didn't ask a lot of questions. I just took the orders and ran, literally. So in this grieving process, I would be remiss if I did not mention the people that made my experience a little bit more bearable, because being on a ship grieving and working 12 to 15 hours a day, you have no idea how taxing it could be unless you've been in it. And even if that grieving process was here stateside, it's a lot different when you're in a foreign country, nowhere near anybody that is your family, you know? But the family that you make on the ship matters. So I will say, I have a couple things that I need to talk about in this video, but before I get there, I want to make sure that I am showing an immense amount of gratitude to those who helped me in my grieving process. And I'm going to try to do it without crying, because I have been a cry bug recently. So, CSU2 Davis, thank you. Just for being a really real talent and a really real person. When I was not my best, not at my game, not the top of my game, you stepped in and you showed the fuck out. Thank you. CSU 2 Benson Tamario. Thank you for seeing the human side of me, because I always try to be so professional, and maybe throw a couple jokes in here and there, but to be vulnerable is not my strong suit. So thank you for allowing me that safe space to really exist in a vulnerable space, because that was rough. The situation was rough. I'm still dealing with it, but thank you. To everyone else, CSU3, Ellis, and hell, I even miss Winbis, and he had nothing to do with that. But women, thank you guys for just being available in this process, the best you could be. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are not super excited about working in galleys and things like that, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Posey, how you doing? And Pope, you too. Thank you for showing up and just being a genuine person. You guys don't know how that makes someone feel in the midst of a storm. Q, hey Q, same to you. Thank you for being a genuine person. And anybody in MSC understands, when you get a hold to people that are genuine, you hold on to them and you are grateful for them, because it can be rare. It can be very rare. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for just stepping up and stepping in those processes and allowing me to be vulnerable and allowing me to be human and express myself in that space that way, because that's not a normal thing. Some people want you to be a robot, and sometimes when you're on certain ships, they don't care about what you're going. They don't give a damn what you're going through. they're going through stuff themselves. So they're like, oh, well, the job still needs to get done. It got done with some tears, but it got done. um, and I had to walk away a couple times because I couldn't talk, but it got done. Grief is something very strong. And when you lose a family member in any capacity, for any reason, it can be very taxing on your spirit. And that gets intensified when you're not home. So I don't want to spend too much more time on that. But I do want to say thank you for those people and those persons who allowed me to have a safe space to exist in a vulnerable energy. So thank you so much to everybody I mentioned. I appreciate you. Mwah, chef's kiss. In this video, I'm going to talk about, unfortunately, even though I just gave this great gratitude statement, I have to be transparent. So I'm going to talk about something that's just crazy to me. And I'll hopefully do it in a lighthearted energy. So let's go for it. After every tour, you're supposed to do an evaluation. I had not had the best experiences with my immediate supervisor. And I did everything right. I mentioned it to the captain, but before him, I went through my chain of command and I told him I didn't like the disparaging situations. I told his boss, about the disparaging situations often. And then I talked to the captain about the same issues, and unfortunately nothing happened differently. It's like that sometimes. If you work out here, you're going to know why. I don't have the energy signature to tell you about all the craziness and the people that are friends and, how it violates professional courtesies and protocols and all that. I'm not even saying this is that, but I'm definitely not saying it ain't because I don't, whatever. Anyway, they give you an evaluation. They waited to the night before my flight left to give me an evaluation about 4 p.m. Everybody's off work about 4:30. Literally doing a meal service. And I think the captain knew that the evaluation was trash. And he said, if you'd like to talk about it, we can talk about it. I hadn't seen it yet. So I was like, okay, maybe. So out of a 5-point system, 5 being the highest, obviously 1 being the lowest, I got a pretty low score. And this was after I had already enacted an EEO case because I already knew what was coming. And not because I wasn't performing. It had nothing to do with my performance. It had everything to do with his, I'm assuming, romantic feelings about me or personal feelings about me. I should have gotten nothing less than a 4.5. And this is coming from a person that would start her days at 4:30, sometimes 3 a.m., to accommodate the mission, and who is arguably one of the best. I'm not saying I'm the best in the fleet, but I'm not far from it. I'm out here. So that same person who administered a 4.5 a week prior to that, because he had an EEO interview, and I know this to be fact, told the EEO representative she's one of the best I've ever worked with in the fleet. Skill set, she's amazing. She's a beast, And it's not even that it's not like I'm bitchy, because I'm not really. Like, I don't argue. I'm not going to go back and forth with you with what you need to do, but I will address things and hold people accountable. That's the difference, including him and myself. Because there's just a flow that has to happen in order for this to be a cohesive unit. We were never a cohesive unit. When he liked me, though, it came with a lot of respect, a lot of admiration and gratitude. But when that shit left, so did his professionalism. And I saw what he did to another Sidmar, which is why I felt it necessary to report everything that he had been doing, because it's completely against the law and completely against ethics and protocol. So once he, and I want to caution you guys from this, once he had his interview with the EEO counselor, I was like, well, maybe this is more of a workplace dispute situation. Maybe we should do it that way. And there was a little voice in me that was like, no, you better not withdraw your EEO complaint. You know what happened? Say we got an EEO meeting on the 17th. They let me leave on the 19th. I'll talk about that more. And then I left on the 19th. Just track with me. And I had to transit from where I was sent to the house. Okay. So I didn't have an opportunity to talk to them, sign any paperwork, and my case got dismissed on timely issues because I didn't communicate with them. Do not make that mistake. If you have an EEO case, it's your responsibility as a complainant or the aggrieved to make sure that you're transparent and that you're communicative with the EEOC process, because you don't want it to get thrown out on untimely issues. Now, I can file on retaliation from being a part of a prior EEO process simply because I got a bad evaluation. And get this, he gave me a bad evaluation and then they gave me a cash award a week later. Who gives out money for bad performances? That's not a thing. If I was so bad, why you give me this money? You trying to shut me up? You want me to tell it on you? You want me to tell everybody what you did? You want me to tell everybody who you are? And, and how you are? And what ship you on? Don't worry, I'm not probably getting in trouble anyway. But there in itself, obviously, you see the conflict. You can't give me a shitty evaluation and then say, oh, but she's the best. And even in the shitty evaluation, he said I'm the best and that there was a significant improvement in food and food quality. What? And the one thing that stands out to me in that evaluation is he said something along the lines of, with more exposure. Been in 11 years, babe. I've been on ships that doesn't even exist anymore, that you could never even be a part of in the capacity that I chose to. I only went as high as I am because I wanted to. That's as high as I wanted to go. I never wanted to, I had no aspirations to be in management because management sucks. Whatever happens to you when you get to management that's like soul snatching and soul sucking, I don't want that. I want to stay in a creative space. I want to be able to produce good quality food. Like, I came to this side for a reason. If I was going to do anything logistic wise, I'd probably be an engineer. And do I look like an engineer to you? Or a deck person? I ain't doing that. So that's not my thing. My niche is where I was, and that's as far as I want to go. And this is coming from a man that's only been in our outfit for 2 years, maybe 3. You have no idea what my involvement is or my exposure level is. And I was never asked once what my aspirations are. He graded me on what he felt like I should have been based on whatever preconceived baseline he has, versus what the criteria actually states. And that's another thing you're going to have a challenge with. A lot of people are not from this country. That means culturally, they're not going to have the same social cues that you have. Some people don't know how to read the room. And because of which, they're going to grade you based on what they internally think versus what the criteria actually is. It affects cultural disparaging situations, affect cognitively how you think, how you breathe, how you feel, what you hear, and how you internalize things. Especially if English is not your first language. That will be a challenge for you. Especially if you didn't grow up on the soil here in the USA. It's just a fact. Recently, someone from another country who works for our country and who now lives in this country thought it'd be a good idea to physically attack a Simar. And this person is a former Marine in his country, okay, from his country. Well, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it. That doesn't match up with somebody who's born and raised of the soil here, who had to deal with the inner city of whatever state he's from. I'll put it that way. I won't get specific. But I'll tell you this. This former Marine from whatever country he's from got his ass whooped, you see, by somebody that's like probably 6 or 7 years younger than him, because you need to learn how to stay in your place. But he felt the guy felt entitled to do what he did. Now, I don't know what happened from that scenario, but please understand that people do fight on these ships. It just is what it is. And sometimes not a whole lot's going to happen to that person. But I guarantee you that, and it was on my ship. Just put it plain, it was on my ship. Now, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. But it happened on my ship. And that same person was one of the challenges in my department that my supervisor couldn't get on board. But I guarantee you he probably got like a 4 or 5, maybe even at least a 3 our evaluation, when he should have gotten probably a 1, maybe a 2.8, something like that, because his performance was piss poor on a good day. The thing about being a cook is if I don't show up for work, you could tell. On days that I was not feeling well, my supervisor had to get in there and cook because it's part of his job too. If I'm not well, he has to take over the mantle. And he's not that great. And I know that because everybody was complaining. How come this don't taste like it did last week? Oh, because she ain't do it. Just saying. Look, I'm a little fluffy, as you can tell. Got to work on it. But I didn't get to speak for nothing. I could cook and bake. I'm out here. So anyway, my point is protect yourselves. Make sure that you are in accordance with whatever the protocol is. I've been telling y'all this every video all the time. Do whatever you can to make sure your experience is good. Do whatever you can to make sure that your communication with your family is good. Have a plan. Have a goal. Stick to it. There's life outside of MSC. I've seen people exist outside of MSC and still keep their federal employment. Like, that's a thing. You can do that. This has been a pretty long video. I'm tired. Y'all probably tired too. But I just wanted you to know that I'm still here and challenges still exist. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I apologize that I hadn't had an opportunity to come to you more often. Please be respectful. I'm still in a grieving process and I am working out a lot of kinks. There's a lot of things that happen in real life that I have to attend to in real life that requires a lot from me. I'm grateful to be here. In the next couple of videos, I'll take a look at some of you guys' questions. You know, I like to get them all at one time and get it out of the way. So hopefully I'll have an opportunity to do that here soon. In the meantime, hope you're having a phenomenal night. If you're going through something, know that there is a better day coming. Trust me, I go through things. You've seen it. You see it. And I wish you nothing but peace, joy, and prosperity. If you think I've deserved, again, or earned your like and subscribe, please do so. Please feel free to share this with whoever you need to or you'd like to. I hope you're having a phenomenal night if you're seeing this at night, and a great day if you're seeing this in the daytime. But until next video, I'm Sinaly Ray, and I will see you next time. Bye.